Hey guys, this is Kirop speaking, and today we are back in automation with the Lite campaign V3 playthrough of Merano, building Fruinian supercars, or like the Freshetta, more like hypercars. Hyper, mega, ultra, super duper cars, even. That is probably what the next Koenigsegg is called, because they have a thing with words and marketing. Anyway, we are going to just advance time at first and see what happens. So far, the Vega is looking mighty hot. We got it out and working finally after a little bit of a boo-boo we did with the engines, but this is now all looking good. The Avantis is still going... still going? Oh, it had a massive re-engineering, yes, for its CGT2 phase. And we have the Ultegra still going on, which will be replaced by the Freshetta. Okay, Vega is making us billions and billions of money. And the Artemis. Oh, even the Artemis is still selling. Holy cow, that's an expensive engineering project. 2.2 million a month. Well, fortunately we have the Vega, which brings us in 41 million a month. This is everyone's supercar. Look at this. Holy shit, this is amazing. 70% margin on this and still selling 3,000 cars, running more or less flat out. This is the maximum number of allowed shifts. Yeah, even at this markup, it's just fantastic. Light Sport Premium. I really want to delve deep into the less fortunate Fruinians, though. I really want to make the ultimate light sports car. That is not necessarily prestigious, but just a beast of a machine. Of course, we can't go all proletariat on them. So, what would it be? A flat plane V8, of course. Do we have a car body for this? Now I wonder if there is something we can do about this conundrum. And modify a model. Oh, I spy a little car we could use for this. Yeah, how about this little thing? And of course we would be building it in a medium factory. So partial aluminium, it's not too expensive. Monocoque, yes. Steel. And we are going for front longitudinal, yes. Double wishbone, of course. And now let's see what we have lying around. Didn't we have a... Oh, that was... Wasn't our engine all steel? Let's see. What do we have here? Well, that is... Oh, it's from 46. Well, I assume it would be all steel then. I don't think... Or iron. I don't think we can necessarily use that, can we? Does that make any sense? It's a dual overhead cam 2. It has the right size that we are going for. Yeah, I'm not convinced. Let's have a look. So, we put one in there. Do we gain... Well, the power is decent enough, but let's see what modern technology can do to it. So if we go... No, we don't need forged. This is looking good. This is fine. We can... how high can this rev? 8,400. And it can go to 8,600 at plus 5. Which is entirely achievable, that's not too much. Although, the production units go through the roof if we do that. Which we don't want to. Yes. VVT all cam, that's something. Probably slightly higher cam, can afford that. And then we go with injection, multi-point. Do we need twin? No, not really. 13.5, ignition timing somewhere in the 70s. And rev it to 8,000... What? 8,400? Nah, that was one too many. For this car, we actually would have to take into account the reliability. 170 horsepower, and we still have loads of compression to go. Not that much loads of compression to go. 174. Ah, that might be exhaust limited. Yes, it is. And it only has baffled exhaust. Now it has a high okay. The catalytic converter takes it right back. And then we open up the exhaust. Yeah, 186 horsepower. Not quite satisfied with this. Also, it's reasonably heavy, 188 kilograms. Like 1 horsepower per kilogram. So what if we start anew and build an all-new V8? What? Why doesn't it fit? Ah, because it's massive. The engine is massive. Don't need an engine that large. There we are, about right. 2.5 liter V8 flat plane. But dual overhead cam for Alzi. We're going with Alzi. And cast internals. Need no fancy stuff here. They are going to rev just high enough. And VVT. Cam profile something around 75. Probably 11 compression. Multi-point, single should be enough. And performance. And then we are at 91 RON. That's good enough. Fitting costs aren't too much. Fill factor is under control. Tubular headers. And we go with dual pipes. And just enough there for 200 something horsepower. High flow, none, straight through. 23 horsepower. It's not quite enough. Oh, yes. there we have something that actually works on this. Based on the old engine with dual overhead cam 2 valve, that was not quite possible. But here we are. This is looking rather splendid. But can't rev quite as high. Unless, of course, we are going for Forge Works. Do we want to invest into that? Building the ultimate small sports machine. Yeah, if we up the price point a little, I think the volume would make up for it. That is one of those considerations which you don't hear about that often, I assume, in your usual automation content on the web. 3,800 horsepower, blah, 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 boom, explosion. Like, yeah, we have seen that 100,000 times, but somehow still gets 50,000 views. I'm doing something wrong, guys. I'm doing something wrong. Yes. So where was I? Yes, the thought that needs to be thought very much of and considered on top of it is that you need to weigh production volume versus the factory add-ons. Like how much per sold car are you going to, or how many dollars per sold car is the factory add-on? Like if the factory add-on costs 50 million, and for a medium factory, a Forge Works would be around 50-ish million, which is rather significant. If you sell 50 million fucking cars, then yeah, that is a really good deal. That is you gain some nice stat points, which probably have netted you a larger benefit than $1 per car. So yes, where is that break point though? Where does it pay off? It's hard to tell, and definitely something that needs to be considered. If you have a very low volume, then building an expensive add-on will just not cut it. Oh, we are exhaust limited on top of it. Holy shit. Okay. This thing is rather impressive. Oh, one thing here. Also interesting. You're going to try to lynch me and then I'm going to shoot you right in the head because you're stupid. This would be very much viable if you're building a flat plane V8. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you are uneducated. You uneducated plebs, you. Now, what is going on here is that if you have a cross-plane V8, then the exhaust pulses are coming rather awkwardly. And that means that you are more or less forced into using dual exhaust, because otherwise when you combine them, you run into lots of troubles with where to combine them and how long the pipings are, and it's all odd pulses all over the place. But with a flat plane, it is a lot simpler. A flat plane can be just straight up merged into one pipe, and that works really well. So, we are going to make use of that technology, that amazing technology of single exhaust, because we're smart. And that cuts down costs because we only need one fucking high flow catalytic converter. Do we need? Oh yes, we do need a high flow. Yeah, it's all good. All good. That's exactly what I want. 230 horsepower. That will be a lot in this little car. Just 124 kilos? Really? Whoa! Okay, yeah, that is a lot lighter than the 188 kilos of our other engine we considered. And 50 or more horsepower. Sounds good to me. And you probably also wonder what it sounds like to be a Fruinian V8 that revs to the moon. Let's give it a go. Yeah, that is a respectable sound. Let's take that one and see what we can build around it. So it's just a small car, small but nice. What do we need for morphing? Oh yes, making a nose that is difficult to design. Yes, I know, making a nose that is difficult to design. Sorry. I think I'm going to go for a pretty flat back like this. It looks really sporty. They can do we have a lot of area to play with here to make something proper instead of like this blah. Looks like its pillow tied to its ass so that it can sit down when it gets tired. That's not what we want. So flat back and a bit more wing. Oh yes, look how sporty I am. Maybe a bit too much. Could also make it flat like this, make it really aerodynamic. Not that automation cares, but something in between. But giving it a slight amount of shape here makes it harder to design for, but at least you have some lines to play with then. And yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now this looks almost Porsche-esque, and that is not necessarily what I aimed for. So the flat back it is. Plenty of space for you to design, and I don't think I'm going to touch the cabin. And oh shit! Ouch! I should have told me that you would be cheering that loudly. Oh, my fucking ears are now gone. Yes, okay. And do we need to flare the arches? Not yet. What do we put in here? Longitudinal rear-wheel drive. Yes, easy. And what more do we put in here? Advanced automatic. No, keep it simple. Manual gearbox, and this is for the Fruinians. This one is for Fruinia. 5 gear. Yes, we don't need more. And open diff. No need for anything expensive here. And sports compound tires, 205s. And that's plenty. in the front. That's a front engine car. Maybe 205, 205? We shall see. It's pretty large wheels for, pretty large width for that size of a car. Combined tire costs only 390. Yep, that is a lot more affordable than what we've built before. Like, what was the combined cost on the Ultegra? Something like 15,000 for the wheels. Vented discs all round, but we probably don't need large ones. Let's start with 270, 250. Well, probably in the rear we don't even need vented, but we have the tech. 225s, yes, 275s up front. And maybe pad type 45, somewhere in between here. Between drivable and pretty sporty. 50 is pretty sporty already. No under tray. This is a light sports car after all. And we are going for two-seater, yes. Standard and basic. Standard and basic. Alright. And no power steering because this is a lightweight car. On the other hand, it will be a little front heavy. We shall see. ABS. Standard 90 safety. And what more do we need? Standard springs. Gas monotube. And passive. Oh, that's slightly aggressive. Yep, those front wheels do need to be tamed. 175s is a better deal. And wow, what? The material costs. Oh, well, now we have a top speed. That's why it shot up so much. Yes, these tires need to take a bit. Yeah, it's not a slow car, but I think we should limit it at 240. That will make the tires a lot cheaper. Wheel spin 11.5%. Can we get this thing to 100 kilometers an hour in first gear? No. It's too far away from it. But 4.4% wheel spin does sound quite a bit better. We are getting into the right categories. Look at that. Light sport. Hit it spot on. And the brakes are almost correct. Need a bit of a nudge. We do need the size. Can we get around this and use two pistons? No, that's way too much brake force. Alright, well, it's a quality car. What do you expect? 320s in the front and 225s in the rear. Yeah, that's... It goes onto its toes during braking. Doesn't need those pesky rear brakes. Now the only thing left is some tuning of the suspension. And one thing I'm noticing is that we have already a low comfort penalty. This car is not a purebred sports car. It should be somewhere there for the stiffness. So let's modify. Yeah, still a little bit of a low comfort penalty here on the light sport, but a smaller one. And look at that. This isn't too terrible. It's just a corner radius, the large corner. Yeah, I gotta tweak that. That's probably gone over. Oh, yep. Nope, that's a little too much. Let's correct that. Much better. Now we have comparable numbers and... yes, respectable. 0 to 100 in 5.2 seconds. And 1,024 kilos. Lightweight, that's for sure. And now, let's see how quick this thing is around the test track. Oh yes! Your race car! Oh wow, that's respectable. 107 kilometers an hour before the Everton S's. And it goes around in less than 220. That is very fast. 2:18.62. Beautiful power delivery. Just threw out very flat. Nice. Good gearing. So what do the markets say? Oh, yeah, that looks very different from all our other cars. They are all clumping up here. And this opens up a whole new range. So I think, seeing how much income we get from the Vega, we can afford to build a pretty massive factory and pump these things out. But first, let me do a few different trims. Do we want to have different trims? We don't want to get into these categories too much again. And it's not what we are here for. So maybe just a cheap convertible as well. Let's make it a hardtop, like a proper one. Although it's a wee bit heavier. A soft top might be the better option. But anyway, let's see. How heavy is this thing now? Well, yeah, that added on 150 kilos. It's to be expected. And the convertible sport. I do like a premium interior, and maybe we should up to standard cassette instead of the basic cassette. Yeah, this is looking nice. Do we want to have a bit harsher brake pads though? No, they don't like that. They are happy with where we are. And this looks like an excellent tune. I softened the front sway bars and left either these at the same point or stiffened them a bit. And now we have pushed the sportiness meter all the way up there before this one turns around and produces terrible oversteer. The comfort rating is in a decent-ish place. Low comfort penalty at 3.3. Yeah, but they didn't want softer springs, so I think we take that. Yeah, they don't like that necessarily. And this is just beautifully situated in the lower end spectrum. Even the convertible sport budget can buy them. 13,000. Huh, that's not much. So all of that is great stuff. Why is this one not performing? The answer is because it has strong competition. Okay, yes, here we go. Naming complete. Of course, we are settling with CLS and OLS, as always. And no, this is not vivace, but vivace. And that is quick and lively, I believe. It's a music tempo as well. But yes, so that works. That works well with this car. It's nice, small and quick. And will be designed by you guys. So now we need to produce it. And that should not put down its score, but rather up its score. And let's see, we do need a new factory. You have to buy a new plot of land. How about Achana? You're going to make it cheap. Medium plot size. This is for the car itself. Let's go with 2. And then level 3 for the engine, because it's a little bit on the complex side. Yeah, this car's quick to produce. That's looking great. Hey, we'll have to dig in a bit and get the... Wow, that is a great price. That is dirt cheap. Look at that. It's below 7. Below 7. But it is costing us a bit here in efficiency. But we will optimize it for tooling. So that should do the trick. And I mean in engineering, we are going to up that slider. That is some tooling costs though. Can we afford that? I mean, we can afford it, but does that make so much difference? Let's put it at 75. Or 70 might be enough. Yeah, 70 is enough. And this one doesn't have to be all the way up there. Let's put it at 50. Okay. Settled with more reasonable numbers. Oh yes, now it starts scoring. That's looking good. And the car engineering time isn't too terrible. Not at all. We are getting familiarity up. The engine might be a problem, but all of this stuff is pretty well known by now. How high can we go with the tooling then? A few clicks higher. Every bit of tooling here helps. But at some point, it just takes too long, too much opportunity cost. I think with 60 we are doing really well. Although I might want to make it a bit cheaper instead. Saving materials. Yep, I think this is a nice compromise. This should sell really well. Low production units. We want to spit out a lot of cars. And even the process is up. Reliability is very good for Merano. But now the engine. That might be a different story. Let's see. Yes, it is. It certainly is. That is a lot of engineering time. That's looking very, very scary. So what do we do with this one? It is the family that is taking forever. There's not much we can do about the family. I mean, Alzi might be the thing that is holding it back. Let's see if we can make that engine out of aluminium. Because we have more experience with that. Makes it slightly heavier. That's fine. But what happens in engineering? Yeah, okay, it comes down slightly. But that's minor. That's very minor. Okay then, I think for this one we will have to cheat. Because the game is screwing us over. You see that? The family has 0 familiarity. That definitely shouldn't be the case, because we've been making dual overhead cam 4 valves since forever now, since the 70s. We know what we're doing, and the V8 is getting a lot of synergies from V12s as well. It's familiar tech. Also, we have built V8s before, so that should also count. And yeah, this is screwing us over a bit in the family department here. Now, what I'm going to do is do the good old cheat of 0 tooling and then revising it pretty soon thereafter. No, we don't need to cheat quite that much, actually. This isn't too bad. But the first facelift, that will be... like, this thing takes more time to make per unit than a car. So we will be struggling to provide enough engines. We will have to make a quick facelift of this and then up the tooling. Okay, something around here. I lower the pressure so that we gain familiarity. And yeah, not great. Handmade, basically. Oh, it's not being made in any factory right now. Can we make this happen then? We could try to play it tricky and hammer this engine out in like 30 months. And then then update this engine in a facelift that supposedly automatically goes into the into that car we are designing. But no, that doesn't work. It doesn't switch it out because it's locked in, so it wouldn't be produced. So we don't get around to making the facelift for the car, and we do need to build the factory. That one takes a long while too. On the other hand, we could build the factory the second time around. Yes, but now that that we have fixed the tooling thing, that shouldn't be too expensive to retool it real quickly. So, new factory in Arana, and also medium there, and we're going for a medium 3 with Forge Works. Ouch! 656 million. And super shit efficiency, because the tooling on the engineering is set so low that it can't be mass produced. Yeah, expected. Alright, sign it off. It is terribly expensive, but this project will bring us so much money in the end that I don't really care. Okay, here is the forecast. Here's the forecast. Despite the very questionable engine production, we are looking to make a big fat profit. But of course, you guys need something to design. And we're moving into the end game, I know, and there have been a lot of cars to design already. but no one said it would be easy to get through this challenge of designing cars. And that would be a lot of judging to do. That would be fun. So, which one do we choose? How about a... Nah, this one doesn't really do it justice because it's kind of quick and nice and nimble, lightweight car. So let's go with the CLS. So what did this one get around the test track again? Was it the 218.62? Let's just double check it. Yeah, 218.66. Cool. And here we go. The Vivace CLS. So we are ready for sign off. The factories take a long while to build. And as expected, it's a medium freight factory for the engine. 37 months worth of construction time. 37 months during which we will be drained of money. Total project costs 1.8 billion. That is a lot, but supposedly we are going to sell 75,000 cars in the first year. Yeah, we gotta set this one to ready. Oh, that's the old one. Don't want that. There we go. 00. This is perfectly set up. We have the two models there. That one, the new factory. Expensive, but worth it. So, let's sign it off. Agree. And there we go. And I think that should wrap us up for today. I hope you enjoyed and see you guys next time.